Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Access. In this module, I want to show you how you can do a basic query and how you can do what's called a parameter query, which is a really cool query to know about in Access. So first of all, just to recap where I am in this database, I have a table of customers, which I've just got a few there, and a table of courses. I've got a few courses there. Now, to create a query, you go to Create Query, and you've got this group here, Queries, and this is the option I'm going for, Query Design. So when you do that, you basically get the Query by Example grid down the bottom here, and you've got the option to bring in a table or several tables on here. If I just quickly go to the Database tab and remind everybody what the relationships are, one customer can book many courses. That's the relationships. Now when I bring these tables on in the query grid, if I bring them on, the link that you created or we created earlier is there. So it's because you did it at database level, any query, form or report that you create on these tables will automatically pick up this link. So if I double click on customer name and I double click on course, I'll just leave it like that for a second. If I go to the query design tab and click on run that query to have a look at the results, that's going to show me all the customers and then all the courses. But what if I just want to see certain courses? So if I go back into design, I'm going to add the level as well, so I've got that there. If I come under here, I could type Excel, for example, and then it will look just for Excel courses. You get the little quotes around it, that means it's text. Now when I run it again, it's just the Excel courses. Then I would have to save that as QRY Excel or whatever, and then I would have to change the criteria for any Access courses, run it again, and then I'll just see the Access courses. Now to avoid doing that and having multiple queries down this left-hand navigation pane, you can create what's called a parameter query, which allow you to change the parameter every time you run the query. You could type Access once, you could type Excel the next time, you could type Word the next time, and each time it will give you the results of whatever you've typed. So that is what I want to do. So if I go back into design on this one, get rid of what I've got typed down here, Access, just delete that off, and the quotes. Now to activate a parameter query, you need to use square brackets. So open square bracket, then you need to type a prompt for yourself. This does not need to be a single word prompt. You can type a sentence. For example, enter the course. You don't need quotes, you don't need anything, it's just normal text. Close the square brackets, that will trigger a parameter. So if I run this now and type Access, it will show me just the Access courses. But if I go back into design and run it again and type Excel, it will now only show me the Excel courses. So that's what that does. And I'm going to save this one. I'll save this as QRY, that's a qualifier, QRY para. So I know it's a parameter one. So click OK to that and then close that down. So it sits over here. So the way that would work now is you would basically report on that. So I'll do that, create report based on that. So click on that, create report over here. I'll just go for a blank report, not a blank report, but one that's a wizard if you like. It's asking me to type in the parameter criteria. So Excel, and then it will show me what that report will look like just for Excel though. There you go. Now I'm going to save this report. So when you close this report down, it will ask you, do you want to save it? Yes, I do. And I'm going to put RPT in front of all of that. So RPT would mean it's a report looking at the query para. And okay, I should come into change that as well, but that's a different session. So now every time I run this query, this report should I say, I can type a different parameter access. Close that down, run it again, Excel, like so. This is all dynamic. Access is a dynamic database. So if I go into customers and add another customer there, first off, so I'll add Bill IT, and they're in the IT sector. So there's another customer. Now if I go and put into courses, I select that Bill IT, and let's say Bill IT did Word, and it was level 3 Word, and then one of the other companies did Word level 3. Just type, because there's drop down list here, I can just type the first letter, but level 3, I want level 3 there, so I'll have to select that. And then now I've got 2 Word courses from 2 different companies. If I close that off, when I run the report, I'm going to type Word. It should show me those 2 companies that did Word courses. There you go, that's where they're at. And that's basically how queries work anyhow generally, but we're using a parameter query. A parameter query is probably one of the best ones to know about, because you don't have to create multiple queries for every course in this case. So one for Word, one for Access, one for Excel, etc. is not needed. Just do one parameter query. Now if you want, if I go into design on this parameter query, you can add additional parameters. So we've got this level. So if I go square bracket, enter level, close square bracket, what's going to happen now is that 2 parameter boxes are going to come up when I run it. First one's going to ask me for a course. I'll type access, and then it's going to ask me for a level. I'll go level 1. Now according to that, there isn't any level 1 courses for access. So if I go into courses, access, it's just 1, not level 1. I should have put level 1 there. These should have levels on them. So I'll just change these. I think these were typed in initially before I did the drop down list, which is why that's doing that. So level 2 there as well. Change that, and I'll just see if I can run that query again. So I'll go back into design, run it again, access, OK to that one, L2, and then it brings that up. So if I just go back into this, run it again. So the Word was level 3, so I'll go Word, press and enter, L3, press and enter, and it gives me those 2 Word courses. So you can have multiple parameters if needed, but the fact that you can just do one simple parameter is okay as well. Now if I just close this stuff down, get rid of that, do I want to save this? Yes, I do, because I added the level. Now when I run the report, same thing is going to come up. I'll go Word, press and enter, I'll go level 3, press and enter. It should give me those 2 again in the report. So that's basically all I want to talk about in this little video, how you can create a parameter query and save time by not having loads of other queries listing and blocking up this navigation pane on the left hand side. So hopefully this video is of use. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you on the next one.